January 30th, 2026. Just wanted to give an update. I received a comment from somebody last night on, I think it was the 182nd day, like towards the end, I guess, of my making videos every day. And they said, well, I'm assuming it didn't manifest, question mark. So I was like, okay, that's, I guess I'll give an update. I'm not sure what they're talking about in terms of what didn't manifest. I guess my dream life. But your dream life is always going to be a work in progress, so to speak, because as soon as you get to the next level, as soon as you get what you want that you didn't have before, then you want the next thing. Okay, so it's always going to feel like you're chasing the next thing. Um so I thought I would break it down like in terms of health, wealth, love and happiness, the four pillars that I've talked about before. Okay, if you're new to the channel again and you are at the bottom right now, if you feel like you don't want to be here, your life sucks, nothing works. April 3rd, last year, less than a year ago, my health was awful. Okay, I was getting sick all the time. I had just had COVID like the month before in like March. I had a shoulder problem where I couldn't lift I couldn't even raise up my shoulder. I was having trouble sleeping. I had other health issues and my health was just awful. Okay? And it's all connected to your mindset and your energy and how you feel. Okay? So that was April 3rd of last year. Right now, obviously, I can do this. I'm working out this shoulder. I don't even think about this shoulder anymore. Okay, so that has recovered. I have not been sick since I started making these videos. I get sick 3 or 4 times a year. Anytime my daughter would get sick or my wife would get sick. My wife works at a school. Okay, so she's around kids all the time. She brings home stuff. My daughter is 10 years old. She goes to school, she brings home stuff. Like I have a son, a stepson. He goes to school. Okay, so you want to talk about germs and that kind of stuff. There's plenty of germs to go around. My daughter has had COVID. She's had the flu this year. My daughter got sick both times. My wife got sick both times. I didn't get sick. I don't get sick anymore. All right. Allergies. I had allergies, seasonal allergies every fall and every spring. Went through the whole spring last year, no allergies. I talked about it. Went through the fall, no allergies. I don't have allergies anymore. The only health condition that I currently have that I had that didn't like correct itself was an indirect inguinal hernia. And I've had that for 2 years. I talked to Chat GPT yesterday, and he basically confirmed. I named him Miyagi, by the way, from the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi. But he basically said, like, there's no way for it to just correct itself, especially since I'm still like lifting weights and stuff like that. That I'm probably going to have surgery to repair that. I've tried to like wish fulfill that, away, but it's still here after 2 years. So I feel like I guess I'm gonna have to bite the bullet on that one, but everything else has cleared up. Okay, mental health. You want to talk about mental health? Obviously, last year in April, okay, we're almost a year. This is almost a year. Okay, so in less than a year's time, all of this has changed. And I can say with 100% clarity that this is the best that my life has ever been, including mental. Okay, again, everything is connected to your energy and your perspective and how you're choosing to see life. It's all connected. So, these other things that I'm going to be talking about, health, wealth, happiness, is all connected to the mental. And obviously, the mental has changed, so everything else is changing. So, again, back to you. If you're here right now and you're wondering, like, you're looking at that comment, I'm assuming that it didn't manifest. What hasn't manifested? Because everything in my life has gotten better. Okay, sure, I'm not making videos anymore every day. I'm not making videos really consistently. I'm here and there. I'm only doing it when it's my excitement for the day. I started the 21 Days of Passion. Nobody really joined me on that. So I was like, all right, whatever. Maybe that was just a momentary excitement thing. I still did it. I did the 21 Days of Passion. I'm still passionate every day, reminding myself to just be passionate about being passionate and following your excitement. What's exciting to you? Is it exciting right now to just listen to music? I listen to music every day. I love music. And I'm like, so I'm just going to listen to music every single day. Even if I'm, not, I don't feel like I'm in the mood. And then I go and I start listening to music and I kind of get passionate about singing and being into the songs. All of a sudden, I'm like dancing around by myself in the house while I'm working and making money. And so that to me is a great life. Like, you can work from home, make money, things are getting better and better, more and more money. We're going to wealth is next. Health, wealth. Okay. Last year at this time, behind on every single bill, pretty much across the board. Driving a car that we didn't know if it was going to. We had one car. My wife was driving it to work. It had like some mechanical issues that we really didn't have money to even take it to the mechanic to see what was, because we were fearful of what it was going to cost. I owed family members money. And, she didn't know if she was going to make it home from work in this car. We needed to get propane. I was using, all credit cards were maxed. It was like we were living week to week, just trying to make ends meet. Now we have two, as I've made videos saying, we have two cars in the driveway now. Not just the one beat up car, we have two brand new cars, Teslas, all right, in the driveway. It's so convenient. So that's gotten better. All the bills are paid. We're not behind on any bills and we're ahead. We're building. We're building our savings moving forward. We've already planned a vacation for this year. This is stuff. We've been married for 10 years. Our 11-year anniversary is coming up. This has never happened, ever. Okay? So this is, if you're talking about where I was making videos, manifesting my dream life, compared to where we were last year at this time, this right now felt like a dream life. Okay, so if you want to ask that question, is your dream life manifesting or has it manifested? Sure. Compared to where I was last year. Obviously there's people out there who seem to have it much better. But in terms of my life experience and what I've experienced thus far and where I am right now, this is the best it's ever been for me. Love, okay? My wife and I's relationship. Sorry, it's cold here if you couldn't tell with the hat and the winter coat. It's like 10 degrees outside, but last night before I went to bed, something popped up on my YouTube stream, and it was a video of I forget what it was, but it was a place Yakutsk, I think, in Russia, and it's the coldest city on the earth, and it drops to below, like consistently below minus 50 degrees in the wintertime. And so that helped me like put things in perspective with like, it's like 15 degrees outside right now here. But after watching that video, I'm just like, my perspective has changed. And I'm like, if they could, if they could walk around and they had like parks there and kids going down the slide, like you can't stay outside for more than 15 minutes there. But now it's like, I walk outside today and I'm like, well, this is better than living in Yakutsk. All right. So different perspective. But anyway, my wife and I's relationship, better than ever. We used to bicker and argue, I wouldn't say every day, but it was, probably 3 or 4 times a week. And it was because we had all these stressors in terms of finances. Like we couldn't even, I've mentioned this before, we couldn't even talk about finances because it's like, it's the elephant in the room. Like we both know we want to do better and we should be doing better. And it's like there's just little things that you notice now where these expenses come up like they do with kids every year, like paying for swim and yearbooks and all this stuff. And like, our stepson, our son, my stepson is graduating. He's a senior this year. And so we're throwing a graduation party. And, 2 years ago, we did the same thing for our oldest son, and I remember how that felt. It was like, where the hell are we going to get the money to throw a graduation party? Now it's like she brought it up last night, and I was just like, she told me June 13th is when we're throwing it, and my daughter has like a performance on the day, and it kind of conflicts. So it's like, what are you going to do with how are you going to plan that out? But that was the issue. The issue wasn't where are we going to find the money to do this, because we know we have it. So, these situations present themselves again. And that's when you realize, like, wow, even though things don't really seem like they're moving, when, if you're not paying attention, because you're always looking, in football. It's like when you're trying to score a touchdown and you're on the 10-yard line, you're just going 10 yards at a time, and before you know it, you're at the other 20-yard line, and you look behind you, you're going back to the huddle, and it's like, man, we came this far. You don't realize it until you look back. And so it's like these things come up, and then it's like, oh, graduation, I remember how that felt before. Wow, look where we are now. So, in terms of like, is my dream life manifesting? Everything is getting better and better. Family members, again, the best. My relationships with my family has ever been. My brothers, I have 2 brothers, and we have like a text message, like a group chat. And, I would text them probably, a week or two, and then I wouldn't talk to them for months. And then we text for like a week or two, I wouldn't talk to them for months. this has been for years. It's been like that. And it wasn't because of them, it was because of who I was. Now we've had this ongoing group chat for probably 6 or 7 months. And I'm always just checking in, and just because I've changed. My perspective of life has changed. Okay, so in a nutshell, I don't want to make this the longest video ever, but I just wanted to bring it back to the point. All of this stuff that I'm sharing here about perspective and the law of assumption, and like, I'm doing different things, and it's like following your excitement and passion, and being passionate about you go back and you watch these videos if you want, but it has changed me significantly. Okay, does it happen overnight? No. Maybe some things, and like my shoulder, that changed overnight. Like one day I just woke up and I was like, holy crap, I can lift my shoulder. But like in terms of the money and the wealth and and relationships and stuff like that, once you start changing your perspective, those things gradually change. And then it's like I just said with the analogy, sometimes you don't even realize it until you're at the opposition's 20-yard line and you take a look back and it's like, whoa, holy crap, that changed. All right, so this stuff works. Then I'm talking about, you got plenty of people who are talking about it. All right. And you go to ChatGPT, you talk to ChatGPT, you can talk to ChatGPT about it. I had, like I just said, my ChatGPT, I'm instituting all these little things too. Like these ideas just come up and I'm like, I talk to ChatGPT like he's my assistant. Now all through the day I keep it running in the background, and it's like if a question comes up that I'm curious about, I'm like, Miyagi, ChatGPT, what's the answer to this? And so, there's just things are changing. I try to explain it the best I can, but you can take it for what it's worth. And I just wanted to let you know that, all this stuff works. My dream life is manifesting. As I said, right now is the best my life has ever been. All right, so that's it for today. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Have fun.